So Tad, thank you so much for being with me today. When I read your book, it was honestly hard to get through in some points because the pain you experienced as a child was just so incredibly moving and touching and just hard to even read about. So I want to know, how did you get through all of that adversity in your childhood?
Well, when I look back on growing up and those times, I don't think I did have the strength or the adversity to get through it. It was difficult. It's only now that I look back and I realize, you know what, I made it. I'm a survivor, you know. But I think for me, it was the fact that I wanted to get through it. I didn't want to give up, even though I had moments of some real dark challenges and certainly some mental health struggles too that I had to persevere through. But it was just the knowing that I had goals, I had aspirations, you know, from being a police officer to wanting to help others to just seeing what life was going to be like whenever I could escape the challenges that I was facing.
Explain the journey that led you to creating the charity Bullying Ends Here.
For me, it was actually two reasons as to why I created Bullying Ends Here. There was the part that we just touched on about the challenges I experienced growing up of abuse and neglect. But there was also basically a pivotal moment in my life in October of 2011. And I don't mind sharing that it was just a night I'd finished work, and as I do at the end of any day, just flipping through the news stories of the day. And one headline that evening struck me in a way that I would never have guessed possible. It said, "Ottawa teenager takes his own life because of severe bullying." I just had a real connection with him. It was when I was reading the story, and I remember clearly that there was a part that mentioned about how at the age of 15 is when he was strong enough and felt safe enough to come out as being openly gay. And there was just such a connection between his story and reading almost a way of a reflection of my life growing up. But I think that is one of the reasons why it connects so well, is because youth and adults are hearing that I'm not doing this for money because I don't get paid. This is like volunteer work, really. It's a passion I have about sharing Jamie's message of acceptance and understanding that it's okay to be who you are. It's okay to struggle. It's okay to reach out. In fact, it's probably very important to reach out and get the help you need. Or on the flip side, if you're doing something you shouldn't be doing and you're harming other people, that this is an opportunity to do that personal reflection and recognize that if you want positive change in your life, that positive change, it's got to start with you.
Think back 10 years ago. Is this where you envisioned you would be today?
No.
No?
It's that easy to say no. For so many reasons. But at the end of the day, the reason why I would have said no at the time is because I was my own biggest obstacle. And I think everyone faces that at some point in their lives. They are their own biggest obstacle, whether they just have it implanted in their mind that I could never do that, or I'm not good enough for that, I'm not smart enough for that, I'm not tall enough for that. Like whatever it is, we put up our own obstacles and barriers. And I did that. I did that for all of my life.
Emotional glass ceilings.
That's it.
And my favorite question of all the questions, what is your spirit animal?
Oh, easy. The unicorn.
What? I have a unicorn competition?
Yes, you do. Touching back to about Jamie's story, and the final letter that he ever wrote was, it was basically a farewell letter. It was a letter stating that he had had enough. But at the very end of that letter, he said, "I want to be remembered as a unicorn." And a lot of people would never understand that. But back at the time when Jamie passed, it was Glee was one of the biggest shows on television. And there was an episode all about the unicorn and how being unique, being different on the outside, it's okay. It's okay to be different because ultimately on the inside, we're all the same. We breathe the same air. We have the same desires. We want to find happiness. We want to be loved and loved back. You know, so ultimately we're all the same, but it's a lot of the times, you know, humans, for whatever reason, we can't get past the differences on the exterior. So, you know, Jamie's story basically taught me and reaffirmed that it's okay to be different. It's okay to be who you are. It's being normal that changes who you are. So I think the unicorn is a perfect example of on the outside, very different, very unique, and that's okay.
Thank you, Dominion Lending Centers, for your generous sponsorship in making this video possible.